Well, hi, Colin. How are you? Thank you. And if it's appropriate to you, happy Father's Day to you. I didn't realize it was this late already. It's only 3:39 here, 3:40 here, but it's obviously 8:40 over in the UK. I've been working down here. I basically moved everything. Well, hello, Grant Bassett. Thank you and welcome. Happy Father's Day to you, if appropriate. But I rearranged my entire command area and cleaned up some things and moved some things, and then ran some of the camera wires and that underneath. So I've been just crazy and lost track of time here. I thought it was about 2 o'clock and it's 3:40. I think this microphone, I had to make sure everything was working again, because if you change the USB port they're plugged in, they don't work. You have to reinstall them. But I think my microphone is working again. So how is everybody else's Sunday? How are you guys doing? I'm only running a couple of my Father's Day gifts today. Part of that container freight train. The couple of cars on it that were gifts for Father's Day for my wife and kids. The other ones are parked over here for now. Actually, in this camera you can actually see them. They're down here. I'm getting a couple of more, hopefully Wednesday. If not, it'll be Thursday. But it'll be Wednesday or Thursday, and then I'll have not a complete consist, but a acceptable consist. But yeah, I'm doing well. It's going to take me some while to get used to this, but this is the beginning of trying to start working on my layout again. I rearranged some things, the aesthetics, and I'm going to start working on the follower car system here in the next few days. See if I can get that working. Also, one of the things I've got to do, and I finally went under my tables today to figure out, there's a section over here. Now let's just point to the big table, and that way everybody can see it. Long view, there it is, long view. Well, I'm going to cut out a small 2 foot by 2.5 foot section here. I'm going to just cut it out and give me access so I can stand in there and reach some of the track up here. And we're going to make this little, I was thinking of taking it out, but Joy said, nah, if we did something a certain way, and we could actually leave it intact. But I'm going to create a removable section here so I can crawl under, get there, and work on the bad turnouts that are up there. And also it'll allow me to change the blinking LED light on the ceiling, because right now I can't reach any of that because I did not build this in sections. Hi Joseph, how are you? Yeah, I'm having a good day. I've been messing around with the aesthetics of the layout. I used to face here and have my camera here and all that, and I've shifted everything this way. Makes it easier to watch TV if I want to watch TV while I'm messing around down here. And it's kind of a prelude, working on little stuff that isn't a big deal, although unplugging and rerunning all the wires, because I also had to move the computer. I have a little desktop computer down here, but to move all the monitors and everything plugged into it, I had to redo all the wiring under the table. Hey, John at Mystic Southern. Happy Father's Day to you, if appropriate. Nice to have you here. But it's doing a couple little things on the layout that will help me get in the right mind frame to finally tackle a couple of the other issues. I need to start doing some work on the layout, and it's sort of been where, but also I really need to change this slide out. Joyce is rarely down here, and she complains about it every time she is. So I'm going to take my circular saw, or skill saw as I call it. I'm going to take my circular saw and a jigsaw, and I'm going to cut out a 2 foot by 2.5 foot rectangle out of that section right there, so I can crawl under the table and get up in there. And it'll be roughly, well, it'll be from here up to here, over to here, and back to here. So that's the area I'll be cutting out and making a hole. And then the piece I cut out, I will put in an interior frame, and that piece can sit back down. And once I build Brayman and everything over there, I can just lift that section up when I need to get under there and work on something, because I rarely need to, but I got to change the slide out, and I do want to fix a couple of pieces of track that are acting up over there. I did get one out. One of the two problems, let me share this with you. Why my Regiobahn kept derailing and acting up the other day. Let's see, where is it? Let's do... Not that one. Well, let's just do this one. I'm going to hold this up there, and I want to... Can you guys see it? Let's hold it up right-handed. I don't know how well you guys could see that. But this was one of the problems the last couple of weeks. Why this is bent or dented right here, I don't know, but you can clearly see there was a dent. Hey, David Cook, nice to have you. Happy Father's Day if appropriate. Happy Sunday if Father's Day is not appropriate. But yeah, I think if you see that, because once the hand starts shaking, you're not going to see it. But yeah, that was part of the problem I was having on Friday. Now, how and when that got dented, I don't know. And none of my other trains had a problem with it, but the Regiobahn's been having a problem with it. I still got the tricky turnout, but do that. Hey, Tim JD, how are you? Happy Father's Day if appropriate. So yeah, I don't know that. To do that, somebody had to drop something on it. This track does not buckle that easy. I could take a hammer and bang on it. Somebody dropped something on it. I wonder if it was one of the plumbers when they were investigating the area here, because this hadn't been causing I haven't had a problem in that section. All of a sudden, the last couple of days, I had a problem, and I finally went over there. I was watching to see when it would derail or when the car would pop, and I immediately saw it, went over there, pulled up a couple of pieces of track and pulled this one out and saw the bend. You've got to drop something pretty heavy on here to buckle this track. So that's pretty interesting. Hey, Bear Lane Stephen Price, how are you? Bear Lane, we have not forgotten you. I know you want to have a FaceTime. Joyce and I just really, now that we've got some ideas and are starting to change them, we just want to have sort of, we want to go from here to here to here, and then we'll give you the dates, and then we'll meet with you online, and you can help us out. But otherwise, I just got done rearranging a bunch of things down here to get myself in the mood to work on a couple of things I need to work on. So I can work on that track and maybe rearrange a couple of lines. I'm pointing, well, you can see on the one camera where I'm pointing. But the bad turnout that a couple of my tracks don't like is, I don't know if I have an easy view. I'll go to the long view again. The bad turnout, the Czech Railjet is rolling over right now. The bad turnout is that one. That little turnout is the one that a couple of my trains have problems with. That when they go over it, sometimes they're fine, but it not last live stream, but a week and a half ago, well, a week and 2 days ago, where my red regio bond, that's the lane 5 turnout, and sometimes the regio bond does it with no problems, but sometimes it'll create that little blip you see, and I need to take that turnout out, but I can't reach it. People go, well, how did you put it in? Well, when I put it in, all this track and stuff wasn't here, so I could crawl on the table and put it in. So, yeah, the next step is I'm going to do a little harder cleaning than my vacuum cars. I'm going to do a little stronger cleaning with some of the track. But I'm going to cut out the hole here. I'm going to cut a little rectangle area that I can lift out. And fortunately, I still have plenty of scrap wood and 1x2s and 1x3s in my garage that I don't have to go out and buy wood. So I'll just frame a square, and then once I cut that piece out, I can set the piece right back in when done. So it'll be easy to lift out, set aside. And the first thing I'll do is replace that light that everybody notices is blinking. I mean, most people recognize it when it blinks off this little bookshelf here. Everybody thinks like this is a camera angle mess up. No, this is a bookshelf. So when you see light reflecting off that, that's because I got an LED light here that's blinking and it just needs replaced. So I'm finally going to get my lazy butt working on that. Hey, Kieran J94, nice to have you. So yeah, and so this had to have happened recently, this track I took out. Yeah, the 11 lanes is empty. There's the station view. Oh, that camera is a little, we won't worry about it. The Dumno station view. And we'll watch the regio bond coming in. Hey, Randall Ellison! Hi there! Did I miss Randall? Well, I mean, I didn't now, but I don't see his name on here, but I saw a couple of people saying, hi, Randall. There he is. Hi, Randall Ellison. I apologize. Happy Father's Day to everybody. It's appropriate. Happy Father's Day to your fathers, if appropriate. So where do I want to go? Oh, that's a good view. That one. No, not that one. Let's do that one. Make me smaller. So yeah, that was an interesting discovery to find that bent track there. I was able to reach that section. That's not the section that I felt was problematic, but it was a section that was suddenly problematic on last Friday's stream. And wow, I'd like to know, because you have to hammer, you have to do something vicious to get this to bend like that. Hey there, Angel Share, how are you? Brian at Angel Share, nice to have you. Happy Father's Day if appropriate. So all in all, yeah, I'm trying to motivate myself to get some things done. So again, I'm repeating myself over and over. I moved everything. I've rearranged my command center. So the angle I'm talking to you is a little different. Normally I'm here, now I'm here, but everything got moved. My central station was right in front of me. Now it's over to the left-hand side. I got my main computer monitor here. I got my second monitor here. I got my I got my wireless controller here, also known as a tablet. I got that here now because I had to create space somewhere. And so I rearranged how this is set up, and I think I'm happier with it. Unfortunately, I've had it a certain way for so long, but I think I'm going to be happier with it this way. Yeah, I just noticed a bunch of people put up videos here, so I'll have to catch up with them. Hi, Gus, how are you? The lunatic from Arno. So I wanted to test everything, make sure all the cameras were working and the OBS was working, because I rewired everything. I had to move the computer. The computer was here, now it's over here. And I moved all my control stuff, so now everything is in the center table in front of me. I'm gonna have to make a new layout map. This is no longer accurate. This is no longer accurate. Where it says CS3, that's now over here. The tablet is now on a lower level, and then I have two computers. My main computer and the second monitor with the computer are over here. The old laptop is over here. I think it's dead, so I may just get rid of it. Oh, you got your AB set. Oh, that sounds cool, Randall. I can't wait to see it. Now, I do want to ask something. A few people are calling me Mr. Dodge. Now, I know I'm a teacher, but I am off the clock. I'm Anthony. I'm Anthony. I'm just Donna Law. You look like you have. I'm the father of 3 kids. My youngest is 20, will be 26 very soon, in a couple of weeks. Oh, nice, Kieran. That's good news. Let's see. What else? I have been writing. I don't have a release date, but I've already finished 2 scenes of Matt Clark Series 2. I have not made any cartoons, but I've been writing the script. Introducing some new characters and bringing back some old ones. Yeah, I don't know where the Mr. Dodge started. A couple of people have been calling me Mr. Dodge for a while, but it feels so weird. It's weird. I mean, I'm used to being called Mr. Dodge, although my students usually call me just Mr. D, or just some students they drop the Mr. Hey, Dodge, and I usually give them grief. It's like, I've earned the title Mr. from you. Hey, Split Rock! Happy Father's Day to you. I was just about to mention your live feed last night. Your live stream. I call them live feed, sorry. Live stream. Hey, Ewan is here. Nice to have you, Ewan. Again, happy Father's Day to all of those who are fathers. Happy Father's Day to your fathers as well. Yeah, last night, Split Rock, and is your name also? I'm going to screw it up. I thought I finally learned your first name, Split Rock. Is it John as well? Anyhow, Split Rock did a live stream late last night. Well, late for me, because I go to bed early. Split Rock did a... Why am I leaving this map on? Let's go to the real scenes, okay? Here, now you get the multi. I'm running the Czech Railjet, which just went below me. And there's the metronome still. I'm running the Red Regio Bond, who's running, knock on wood, very smoothly today. Yeah, it was trying, but hey, I'm sure they'll try again. What about Lord Dodge? No, Joyce has to call me then on Friday nights. Wait, no, I shouldn't have said that. No. Oops. Let you in on secrets again. More skeletons out of the closet. Anyhow, last night, Split Rock had Heath on, because Heath, I guess, if I understand the whole story together, Heath has been helping Split Rock get his live streaming, digital formatting and everything set up, which is what Heath does for a living, basically, or has done for a living. And they had a few topics they talked about. Now, I came in late. It was already on for 40 minutes. I came in late. But they had some interesting topics. And one of the topics they were talking about is what to do to grow your channel. And what makes a good channel and what you should do. And, you know, I'm the model of what not to do. Because I never intended to have 800 subscribers. Everything you should do to grow your channel is something I don't do. You know, other than maybe have a decent personality, and I think I come across as a decent guy most of the time here. But, you know, most people that are model trained people that come on YouTube, they're looking for channels that are either showing their layouts, which I do, but I don't have really a lot built up on the layout. Or they want to see the how-tos, and I don't do those either. Speed restrictions got them. Man, if they're going to set a record, they should have told somebody, hey, let them come through an extra 3 miles an hour. Over a couple of miles, 3 miles an hour would have made up that 21-second difference. But, you know, the thing is, when you set up a channel, every person that sets up a channel, you have, and for lack of a better word, well, I could say intention, but you have an agenda. And some people's agendas, and I think it would be fair to say is Heath's intention, that he wants his channel to grow and get out there and grow his channel and get it big, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The people that monetize their channels, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Not everybody monetizes, but you know, it's YouTube. Do what you want. It's your channel. Do what you want, right? Rule 1. But my intention and why I've really gone back down to live streams as opposed to doing my shows is the live streams really were the agenda I had 2.5 years ago when I started posting videos. My agenda, my intention was to meet a few model trained people, that would be you all on this list here, and actually talk to them and just talk. And so I would go on to all these, you know, last year during when COVID broke out, all the live feeds. That's when I really felt like this is what I'm looking for. Tim's live streams and Chris at Hales Heritage Railways, his live streams. And so I started doing my own and people started coming in. And then I felt like I needed something to offer, so I added more cameras so you could see my trains at different angles. And then my sense of humor came out, and I started doing the parody songs, and then of course I started doing Matt Clark, and that's all. I think I don't know what the future of my channel will be, other than I'll keep doing the live streams, because going back to work, not at work, doesn't affect it. Fridays 3:30 my time, 8:30 UK time, 9:30 Western European time, actually technically Central European time, 9:30. works in my clocks. I haven't had to change it in a year since I started doing live streams, because that's the big deal. It's been almost a year since I did my first live stream, and I've done a lot of them. But it's been really cool to have people come and visit, and if anybody digs the comedy of the Matt Clark stuff, I know a few people have written to me and said they really like the Matt Clark stuff. Some people have even bought the Matt Clark t-shirts. Kieran, you're always asking about the cat. The cats are lucky to be alive. Let's just leave it at that. So the cats are lucky. Some of you may remember, when our last cat died, actually about a year and a half ago, going on 2 years, and then my son was living with us and he had his cat, and then he moved out and took his cats with him. And I wanted to be done with pets. No more pets, no more pets. And we went about 3-4 months after my son moved out. I don't know if it's that long, maybe it was 2 months, 3 months. And Joyce and my daughter both really wanted pets. Now, Joyce really wanted a dog, and I was like, I love dogs, and I hate cats, but I don't want a dog. I'm picking up the poop in the yard. We go away for a long time. I don't like leaving the dog alone. Dogs can be destructive, so can cats. And Joyce just decided we were going to get a couple of cats. And we had to get 2 because she didn't want the one being home alone when we went off somewhere. And I really didn't want it, but hey, at least cats are a little easier to take care of than dogs. I don't like cats, but there it is. Anyhow, we always do rescue pets. Pets that are a couple of days away from the gas chamber. So we went and picked out Molly and Minnie, our 2 black cats. And they were antisocial for months. We never saw them, which you can understand. But Minnie apparently doesn't believe in using the cat box, so she keeps using the hall carpeting between the kitchen and the living room. And even Joyce is finally pissed off about that. And the other one has to have a very expensive diet food. It's like, can't we just get 2 normal pets that don't require special diet or have issues they need to deal with? So that's the story of the cat. So yeah, Minnie is peeing everywhere but in her cat box, and we think it's a urinary tract infection, and somebody in here's father has had one. And we keep calling the vet, and the vet keeps saying, well, it might be this and it might be that. Would you just look at the damn cat? And it's like the vet doesn't want us bringing her in or bringing anything in. And it's like, well, do you have construction going on in your neighborhood? Yes, they're rebuilding the road outside our house. Well, that could be distressing them whenever there's a change. BS. But it is what it is. So they're lucky to be alive. But my Father's Day, I can show these off a little closer today. My Father's Day, I got 2 cars like this. This is second class. It is České dráhy, which is Czech rail. But you can also see there's a little Deutsche Bahn sign on there too. Whoops. There's a little Deutsche Bahn sign. There it is. Because it's a Euro city, which means it operates through multiple countries, of course. And Joyce and I rode one of these. In fact, we rode in a car like this. Now, I don't know how well you can look inside there, but this is a cabin car. So you have a hallway, and then you have the cabin. Oops, you have the cabins on the other side. And Joyce and I sat in one of these for 3 hours from Dresden to Prague when we went to Prague. My model shop Joyce gave me a budget, and the budget couldn't afford the one locomotive I really wanted to buy. But so I got 2 of these second-class cabin cars. Come on. I hate Roco's telex couplers. And then I got the restaurant car. So this is the restaurant car. Now it's non-motorized, so when you see that these windows are blocked off, that's actually the restrooms in the kitchen area in there, but that's the restaurant cars. We didn't go to the restaurant car. And then the day these arrived, I got an email from my shop because they notified me when things on my wish list. Well, the first class car was in. They had one of them. So I turned around and bought the first class car. And 1 more or 2 more of the second class cars. I can't remember. And then I bought some tower lights for my Delmenhorst station because I broke 2 of those, and so I'll have to put these in and rewire them and make sure I don't break them this time. You guys call them a corridor coach. We call them cabin coaches, a corridor coach. Interesting. Everybody's got a different thing. The German translation for them is a cabin car. So they're nice. These were, and they've got a good weight to them. I don't have a scale. I know some people like that. How much do they weigh? Though these have a good weight to them. They're quality cars, and this was $25. Each of these cars was 28 $28, 25 euros, $28. And then shipping. And the other thing I got was on the passenger car, on the passenger, or not the passenger, the freight car, the freight train. It's going to come around, so I'll put it up here. Let's get the 11 view. So those Czech cars are different than the Czech Raildrit cars that are there. Hey, Leslie, how are you? Hey, Ian, welcome in. I've probably missed a few people. I've been yakking. But, so real quick, yeah, here comes the freight train, and there are 2 triple bogey. There's one with the Maersk on it, and then the 2 with the Hapag-Lloyd. I got these 2 really long 3 bogey, 3 truck container flatbeds. And that's what I got for Father's Day. Then, of course, technically, I guess I'm getting more on Wednesday. Excuse me a second. But yes, I intend on getting to work on the Fowler car system here. So get my lazy butt to work. I needed a drink. Product placement. And yes, this is a beer. So for the first time ever, you're seeing me drink alcohol live on the internet. I keep saying live on TV. It's all the same to me. So again, I will ask, how are you all doing? Like I said, this is just sort of a I rearranged some things again for the umpteenth time. I rearranged my control area, so all my electronics all got shifted around this way a bit. So, yeah, I think that computer's had it. Out of the blue, it started installing some sort of update, and it's spiraling because, well, it's dying. Well, hello, Alan. How are you, sir? I saw you posted a video. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, so I will get to that. But again, congratulations to Leslie on the new house. Hopefully this one will work out better. Happy spouse, happy house, right? Yeah, we have, we're getting up to about 90 today. In fact, looking down here, it says it's 91 right now here in Toledo. But 70%, well, Joyce, among many of her interests, is a weather aficionado. Joyce is a weather snob. So for years, we always talked about humidity. Now Joyce is like, it's not the humidity, it's the dew point. And she heard me talking like that, she'd hit me. She wouldn't do any damage, but she'd hit me anyhow. You know, she's really that short. I outweigh her by, good 70 pounds, and I'm 8 inches taller than her. But anyhow, be that as it may, you don't need to know our fighting numbers or boxing numbers. But Joyce is a big weather person. So it's the dew point, and our dew point was over 70 today, and she says that's bad. Hey, Chris, how are you? It's freezing in Newport, South Wales. I caught on a couple of streams that parts of Wales had the cool down finally, because you guys in the UK had a heat wave, and then my friends in Germany were talking about the heat wave. One of my friends in the Netherlands had a tornado. That's how much the heat and the humidity cranked up, because it's very rare, but they had a minor tornado there where he lives in the Netherlands near the Belgian border. So yeah, our dew point is just, it's off the charts here. You walk outside and it's like walking into a sauna, which is why I'm not outside. But yeah, I spent today talking myself into doing some things, and the big thing for the 20th time now, we're past umpteenth, we're now into 20th time, my command center's all been shifted. I rearranged and rewired all the cameras, but to you guys you don't see any difference, but I moved everything. I didn't adjust the OBS, I just adjust where the wires run, and I moved my computer, and I moved my monitor here, so everything's been shifted around quite a bit. Hello, Sarah. Sorry to hear about the internet. But yes, I was messing with my computer, you know, testing everything, and I looked up and nobody had done anything. Even Lee at Anfield Road hadn't gone live today, because I was going to pop in. You know, okay, I'm down here working on stuff, but I can listen. And Lee didn't go live today. Of course, then I thought, I didn't even see him announce it, because usually he announces it multiple times. So maybe he went on vacation or something like that, or maybe internet issues, I don't know. But, anyhow, so I continued working, and then when I got everything done, I decided to give everything a test ride. So I'm sitting there giving everything a test ride, and I looked to make sure nobody had gone live or had a scheduled live feed that I'm subscribed to. And nobody did, so I said, what the heck, I'll go live and see if anybody shows up. And then as I looked at the YouTube, because I did everything through OBS, but when I looked at the YouTube, I saw a whole bunch of you put videos up since I last looked. Let me see who all has videos up. So Gus just put another one up. Alan is remembering to keep the camera above the legs. I don't need Joyce getting that excited, at least about somebody else. So he got some Nuke rolling stock. The Switch List, that's a guy in the, I think he's in Pennsylvania, but towards the Maryland area. John Warner at Piccadilly got his Sunday live feed up. and Split Rock. Well, no, that's repost. Jason the Train Freak just put something up here. So yeah, I had a whole bunch of people. Posted videos right as I decided to go live. So if you don't know those channels, check them out. There we go. Got that straight. Well, that's good. Lee has talked about getting back to work. But let's catch it this way. So there you can see my Regio Bond. I did change the locomotive. I took my 143 off and brought my 147. One of these days I'm going to do an update on all my locomotives. And you guys do such a great job for me of showing here's a class 37, here's a class 47, here's, I know what a 66 is, and the different classes. I should probably go through and really show off some of the give you kind of a closer look at the locomotives that I have. Give you a much closer look than just watching them running around. Yeah, I'll have family here because it's Father's Day, of course, but it's Sunday, and family comes over every Sunday. Now, my son is working tonight, so he won't be over. I've joined the club. I have my own monogrammed coffee mug, except I don't drink coffee, and I don't drink tea. It's a special tea, special brewed tea. But I've got with that addition of just those two cars, but it's really like the addition of 4 flatbeds. But that double flatbed, it really, I'm running just a container freight train. I don't even have my, the various tankers, the gas and oil tankers added on. It's just all container wagons on the freight train now. I can make a really long one. Hey, Peter Shaw, nice to have you here, sir. Thank you for coming in. All right, we'll let this guy come up. There we go, there's the DB. Lincoln Lights. I've got to clean the track. I've got to clean his pickups, too. But there's a red Regio Bond coming into Delmenhorst Station. I would love to get that camera lower, but I can't, otherwise the trains would run into it. Oh, just emptied there. But this is a class 147 right there, which is basically just an upgraded 146. Let's see. This is my first locomotive. This is my oldest current piece of machinery that I have since I sold my original or traded my original ICE3 away when I got my new ICE3. But I got this guy in March of 2016. This is, and seriously, as much as I have learned over the last few years about the German rail system, to me this basic Siemens Bombardier, I should say. I say Bombardier, sorry. Bombardier. This basic design, they all look like this, more or less. But this is a class 146, so you can see it on the camera there, class 146. And then the other numbers are its production run. So this is a 146-2. There was class 146, and then there was like 146-001 would have been the first 146, 146-002. And then they redesigned it, so you had the 146-1. And then they had an issue with the braking system and the power plant. So while the shell and everything stayed the same, they had to improve. They had to do a lot of major work on the inside on the real things, and that's the 146-2. And this is kind of the primary workhorse of the German regional traffic, the commuter traffic. This is probably their number one, the 146-2. So it's an electric locomotive. It's heavy too. I mean, this is Märklin quality, and this is the first one I bought. But they all kind of look like this. I don't think I could get my 187 easily, but their basic frames look like this. I mean, it's the Siemens construction. Oh, well, that was nice, Peter. Very nice. My son is moving, well, actually, his fiancée already moved about 3 hours away, and he'll be moving because they were living together. He's got to find a job so he can quit his job in this city so he can move down with her. I think he said he got an interview with somebody. But yeah, so this is a class 146-2. Now the class 146-2 is being phased out. Now, just to let you know, this class 146, the 146-2, let me see, it's going to come around here in a second, so let me go to the 11-lane view. You'll see this yellow locomotive coming up in about 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, I was off. That yellow locomotive, which is metronome, is the exact same locomotive as this. It's a 146-2, just bought by a private company, Metronome, to pull their commuter traffic. So that's a 146-2. So there's a 146, which none of those, as far as I know, none of the 146s are running anymore. They were upgraded to 146-1 and then 146-2. And then, let's set him on this track over here where he is, you should never set your locomotives on hardwood. Always put them back on track or something soft. But yeah, can I get to it in time up the ramp? Yeah, this guy coming around, that locomotive, this white one, that is a 146-5. Now the 146-5, and we'll catch him here again. The 146-5 is the same thing as a 146-2, but they went in and upgraded the motor. So the shell is the same, the bottom, the chassis is the same, but they upgraded the motor and made some changes to the motor system and of course the braking and powering system inside of it so that it could run the higher speeds, because the 146-5s pull the IC2s, which is high-speed traffic. You know, the regional traffic is limited to maximum 120 kilometers an hour. The IC2s can go up to 180 kilometers an hour. So they had to put in a different drive system and a different braking system, but they use the same shell. So that's a 146.5. So I've got two 146.2s and a 146.5. Now, pulling the Regiobahn, and I just went to the station. I can do the village view here. Pulling the Regiobahn, and I'll try to catch it on the 4K camera when it comes around here. I could even stop it. Why don't I stop it when it gets here? So let's go to DV 4K. Whoa, there you go. There's a, hey, that was perfect, wasn't it? Okay, that is a 147. This is replacing, this was, is replacing the 146.2s. So you got a bunch of 147s. This is the new Siemens Trax 2 Bombardier combo mix. So they're replacing, this is the 147. These came into service about 3 years ago. And those are their 147s, and they're replacing all the generations of 146. So there, that gives you a decent view of it. And you can always tell these newer ones because they have the ribs down the side, I guess is the best way to put it, or maybe it's not the best way to put it. Okay, so yeah, let's see. German locals have, yeah, a little bit of trouble. No, it's just to take over the systems they were doing. They had to upgrade those systems. Yeah, I love the double deckers too. So it's not Vectron. In Germany, the only Vectrons I know that are running are the Class 193s. The 146s I don't think were Vectrons. I could be wrong. I won't swear to it because I'm not a train aficionado, but they've never been called Vectrons anywhere, shape, or form. The only train I know specifically. Now, Vectrons are similar to that in body shape and style, but the Vectron was a whole new class coming out. And then, what is it? Skoda Works. Skoda was making new locomotives as well. And the Vectron, I think, is part of the Skoda redesign, isn't it? I'd have to Google it now. All right, Kieran, take care. Thanks for popping in. Always great to see you. Yes, this crazy American is drinking beer out of a coffee mug. Why? Because he's selfishly and shamelessly advertising his channel. That's a Stella Artois. I don't buy German beers here in America because they don't taste the same. The Stella Artois taste close to the same as they do over in Europe, but the Beck's beer, they brew Beck's here in the United States, and it doesn't taste the same. I love Beck's beer in Germany. The American version of it, ugh. So yes, my trains do stop. Tell you what, I'll do this again if I can do it quickly. Where is it? Where is it? Come on, slow it down, slow it down. Come on. Oops, I slowed them down too fast too soon. Now that is a Class 187. That's a freighter. That's a Class 187 electric. And again, if I if I hold this one up above it and I can't get, they really don't look very different from each other. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody, I know my German friends would give me grief, but the 146 and the 187 there really just don't look the same. Let me see, is there a different way I can do this? Suppose I could add video capture device. Which one? Ta-da! So if I put this guy right up there, I'm trying to hold this firmly with the shaking hand, and if you look above, I really don't see much of a difference between them. The body shapes look, and I just consider this the Siemens body shape. They look the same to me. I have to look on the front in many cases. Joyce will do that to me on the train. She'll say, what locomotive is that? And I said, well, it could be a 146, or it could be a 185, or it could be a 187, or I'll have to see the front and read the number. So, yeah, it looks no different, Tim JD. Yeah, that's to me. They look so much the same. Now I can tell the difference with 150s. 150s are a little squarer. The 150 series. And the Vectron 193 series is very different. It's very recognizable. And then there is the Taurus. Now the Taurus is a duo. This is a Taurus. This is my Beethoven Taurus because it's the only one that is easy to get. It's not attached to anything. It's not computerized. So, is there a way I can hold this? Yes, this will creep you out. It scares at you. This is a Taurus. This is Jägendorfer Collection Taurus. I can recognize the Taurus, although if you painted it red, no, I still recognize them as a Taurus. The Taurus are very popular in Austria. The Austrians run these. Germans have a few of them. This technically is an Austro-German mix, but this is my Beethoven Taurus, and it actually plays Beethoven music. And the real one does too. The real one plays Beethoven, if you ever see it at a station. I've never seen the Beethoven. I've seen the Mozart, I've seen the Franz Liszt, I've seen the Wagner in real life, just not this one. So here you get those eyes staring at you whenever it goes around. Beautifully detailed, but it's a Taurus. And so far as I know, let me see, can we get there we go. I don't know how well that shows up. It's got the windshield wiper first. As far as I know of 3 generations of Taurus. There's the 1016, the 1116, and the 1216. And I've got all 3. This is a 1016. My Czech railjet, which is running on the table right now, is a 1216. And then my Austrian railjet is an 1116. So I've got those 3 generations. I think there are other generations, but those are the 3 I see running everywhere. So, yeah, that's the Taurus, which is also Siemens, I believe, in conjunction with another company. So, yeah, that's the only other local that really stands out different, other than, like I said, the Czech railjet just went past, but I'll go to the 11-lane view here. The double-decker's going past, and you can see guy, but like I'm currently running 3 146s on my, well, 2 146 and a 147. Oh yeah, Joseph Urquell is really good. It's a Czech beer. The Czech beer you got to get, I always forget its name. It's like Starpolish or something like that. Oh, here comes the Czech railjet. So this is a Taurus as well, pulling this Czech railjet. And again, other than the numbers, I can't tell the difference between a Czech 1016, a Taurus 1016, a Taurus 1116, and a Taurus 1216. They all look alike in shell to me, but they all have slight differences somewhere. But yeah, Urquell is very good. Now, of course, they call it a Czech beer, but Urquell and the term Pilsner is because the city in the Czech Republic was Pilsen, but that was a German city for many years until the end of World War I when it was chopped off and given to the Czech Republic. It was a German city. And, of course, it was part of the Sudetenland that Hitler demanded back before World War II. And now it's still in Austria. What is it? Starop? I can't remember. Really good beer. It's also a Pilsner from the Czech Republic. Really good stuff. Hey, Roy, how are you? Happy Father's Day if it's appropriate. Yeah, Randall, the thing is, from my understanding, is some of the Amtrak locomotives were made by Siemens Company, and they're based on that 146, 140, 150s shell. Because I saw the same thing. A couple of people started running Amtrak trains, and I went, wow, that looks like a Siemens 146 body. And somebody said, well, it was built by Siemens. And I said, aha, makes sense. One of the Amtraks is a ICE. I believe it's an ICE-3 repainted in Amtrak colors. But they bought it from Germany and they run it. But it's an ICE-3. But, so yeah, definitely, Urquell is a very good beer. It drives me crazy. I can never remember it. I'd have to pull up the menu of the restaurant that I always get at because I have their online menu. Why I show it to my students, that's why. Not instead of, but in conjunction with. They obviously have horns, but when they pull in and take off from stations in Austria, Germany, a couple of them also run to Hungary, like the Franz Liszt one runs Hungary, Budapest, Vienna, and Berlin, or Budapest, Berlin, Vienna. I forget which route it goes, the Franz Liszt one. But it runs both to Germany and to Austria. Yeah, they will play the music. The tourist locomotives, regardless of which type of tourist locomotive, except for the musical ones, the painted musical ones, the tourist locomotives play scales when they depart. They pipe the engine exhaust. They pipe it somehow, so when they take off, it's sorry. They play scales, so it's really cool. I have a video. If you go to my very short, there's only 2 videos in it playlist called "Real Trains in Real Time." I show the Austrian railjet Taurus taking off and playing scale. But the Mozart plays one of 3 songs when it leaves the station. And again, I feel really stupid. The Wagner one plays, there's 2 different ones with Wagner. There's Wagner on one side, Verdi on the other. But the Richard Wagner one, again, they all play like 3 different songs, but both Wagner versions play Flight of the Valkyries, and a couple other songs from the Nibelungslied. So there you go, Leslie. That's exactly what it does. The Wagner one plays Flight of the Valkyries. Yeah. Both of them, because there's one that's Wagner on one side and Verdi on the other, because I guess they shared a birth year or a death year. And then the other one is strictly Wagner. And I want that one, but I haven't been able to justify getting it yet. The Mozart one, I will buy in a second if I can find an AC version of it. Jason from the Train Freak While I was talking on Friday, he actually found one on eBay, but it was a DC, and it was the one that doesn't play the music. Hey, Tom Couples, how are you? Yes, Leslie, that would be cool. Up through the Lorelei, that would be cool. Although running along the Rhine from Bingen to Rudesheim down to Mainz and Burns would be cooler, because that's sort of where that song would really be appropriate, or down along the southern part of the Rhine. Just, south. The Lorelei is middle of the Romantic Rhine, halfway between Bingen and Koblenz. It's across from a city we stay at, my students would stay at, called St. Goar. We would live in St. Goar, and then St. Goarshausen is across the river, and then the Lorelei is like 3 miles south of St. Goarshausen. Bombardier is now part of Alstom. I thought Siemens and Bombardier worked together on those. Well, the 147s and 187. Okay, that part I could go along with that. But like the 146, I thought were Siemens and Bombardier tracks too. But there's always somebody who'll come in and straighten me out when I'm wrong. Hey, Siegfried. Anyhow, thank you for that, Siegfried. When you start getting into best beers, there are German beers that are amazing, and I've had many different types of German beers in my trips to Germany, and it's a type of beer. It's called Hefeweizen, and there's many hundreds of different versions of Hefeweizen, which is hops, white hops, I guess is the easiest way to translate it. But Hefeweizen, there was this one brand I had down in Munich that was amazing. Probably the best beer I ever had. And you can buy an export version of it here, even in Toledo, but it doesn't taste the same. Oh my goodness, it's one of the best. It's a lager, I believe. Is Hefeweizen lager or yeah, it's lager, not ale. But the starter, it's just gonna drive me crazy. I gotta look this up. Play amongst yourselves while I look this up. Staropramen, that's it. Staropramen. I'll type that in for Joe. This is an awesome beer. Staropramen. I always remember it's got Starop in it. S-T-A-R-O-P. Oops. Wrong button. Yeah, if you ever get a chance, Joseph, try Staropramen. That is good stuff. And again, obviously, it's better over there than it is imported here. But Staropramen is amazing. Altbiere. I've had Altbiere. And I've had many, many different wines. Now, if you want to know my favorite drink from Germany, outside of a couple of beers I've had, but I have 3 bottles of it aging nicely in a dark cabinet in my house. It is, hey, Robert's Train Set. Hi, nice to have you here, sir. Thank you for stopping in. You can Google this site. You can Google the site, but I'll type it in here in the list here. The place is from the Rhine River. It's award-winning. He is a very small vintner. He is a vineyard. He runs a vineyard along the Rhine River. And he he wins all kinds of awards for his different products. But he's small, and he refuses to license out to export to America. You buy what he can make and what he can sell. He will ship it anywhere around the world. But Stefan's, the name of his shop is Stefan's Wine Paradise, but he is an award winner in Germany and Europe. He's won European awards and German awards, and I know the guy. I've gotten to meet him several times. He makes a peach brandy, and the only story I can tell you is one of my best friends when I started this exchange program. They weren't best friends when we started, but they became very good friends. His name was Heinz Groten, and Heinz passed away almost 2 years ago now. He died Christmas of 2019. But Heinz was in charge of sister cities for the Bremen area. His name was Heinz Groten. His wife was mayor of the city of Delmenhorst, which is the city we started our exchange program with. And these people were wealthy. Let's just leave it at there. Wealthy. Very wealthy. But they never showed it. Their house was very nice, but it wasn't a big mansion. It was an ordinary German house. And the only way you knew they obviously had the money to buy top quality was to look closely at some of the stuff. But it was they had money. And they traveled the world, went everywhere anytime they wanted to. But so me being a working class kid and a bit of a schlup, I was always intimidated by them. And I went to we had been talking about this peach brandy, Stefan's peach brandy, forever. And so finally we went down to the Rhine River, Joyce and I did with our students, and we went into Stefan's and we bought a bottle for them. And of course they went and they immediately brought out their really fancy, really nice crystal brandy glasses. I forget officially what they're called. There's the brandy snifter, which is like the bottle you keep it in, and then the glasses. And they poured this. And I'm like, they're going to look at this, and we've been talking about how great it is, and he's going to go, oh, it's not that great. I'm fully expecting that. Well, he pours it, and he and his wife drink it, and they go through the whole motion like they're testing wine, obviously moving it around different parts of theirs. And I'm waiting for him to come down and say, well, it's not bad, it's not great. I'm just waiting for that. He sets it down, he looks at his wife, he nods to her, and very quietly he looks at me and he says, in German, of course, he says, gefährlich gut. Gefährlich gut. Which means dangerously good. And when he said that, I understood exactly what he meant, because it is so good, but it's you don't realize it's a strong brandy. It is so tasty. It is so delicious that you want to drink a huge glass of it. But Stefan's peach brandy is to kill for. I have 3 bottles, and part of a fourth that Joyce and I, we don't drink it often, but every now and then we get it out on a summer's evening and drink a bit. But oh my goodness, it is so good. But when Heinz said gefährlich gut, I burst out laughing, because he couldn't have given it a better compliment, because that's exactly how you describe it. Dangerously good. Because you just want to keep drinking it, because you don't, it's so delicious that you don't, a couple of shots of it and your head will be spinning, but you want to drink 2 large glasses of it like it's a wine or a pop. Just amazingly good stuff. Hello, Nancy and Herb. Happy Father's Day to you all, if appropriate. Obviously not to Nancy, that was Mother's Day last month. So yeah, I'm running a little bit of my Father's Day gifts. My wife just came down and said, me and the kids have given you this much money, go shopping. So I went to my German shop and I bought some Czech, I bought a couple of Czech Eurocity Express cars, and I've got more coming. And I bought a couple of really long, you guys tell me what they're called. They have 3 trucks. I know a lot of American guys call them trucks, 3 bogies through them. but it's like double cars with 3 trucks in them, flatbeds for my freight, because I had a bunch of, for some reason I had a bunch of containers and not a lot of container cars. So now I've got enough container cars to put a lot of my container wagons on. In fact, I think I have all but one container on my trains now. So all my containers are now on my trains. I want to get a couple more Hamburg Süd containers. Yes, Robert's train set. I've been to Germany many times, and yes, I have had a Bitte, and I've had a Liter, and I've had the big mugs. I've been to Germany, 17 times. I've been to Germany 17 times. The shortest visit was 5 days, but most of them were 2.5 to 3.5 weeks. I ran an exchange program. I took my students from Toledo to Germany, and then when the exchange program ended, because Joyce and I were still having that money deducted from our paycheck and set aside in a savings account, we just started going to Germany on our own. So we went 2017 by ourselves without students, and 2019 by ourselves without students. We were supposed to go last year without students, but COVID canceled trip. And we were supposed to go this year, but COVID canceled trips. Now Germany just announced they're opening the border, that they're allowing American tourists to come in as of tomorrow, that Americans could come from America. Unfortunately, we fly out of Canada, and Canada is not opening the border with the United States until July 21st. And even then, it doesn't matter, because even though we got tickets on hold, we spent the travel money. We spent the money we would have used to rent, to book our trains and stay at places. We spent that. We just did $4,000 plumbing repair in our basement, which could have been a lot more, but fortunately I did some of the work too. We did some other yard stuff, so we spent all our travel money. I've had potato schnapps, not a fan. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of any of the schnapps I've had. I'm not actually a big liquor or alcohol drinker. I will drink certain types of wine on certain occasions. I will have an occasional beer, but this is probably the first beer I've had since Christmas holidays. No, that's a lie. I had one back in February. I just had a beer doing this live stream. I don't drink a lot of alcohol, but in Germany, I drink more beer in 3 weeks in Germany than I do the rest of the year in the United States. And I don't even have a beer every day, and I never have more than one. I never have more than one beer. But some of the best beers I ever had, I had down in Munich, and Mittenwald. I can't forget Mittenwald. Had a great beer in Mittenwald in 2017. I don't remember, actually I do remember the name, because the beer was Mittenwalder Altbier. Really good stuff. Very, very good beer. But there was a particular type of Hefeweizen I had in Munich, and I don't remember the brand name. That was really good. Really good. But I actually like Beck's beer. One of my favorite beers in Germany you can't get in America. It's called Hakebeck's. It was a German brewery called Hake, which the Beck's company bought out 50 years ago, 100 years ago, whatever. But they still produce it, Hakebeck's, H-A-A-C-K-E. But you can't get Hakebeck's here in America. They don't even ship it. It's available only in that part of Germany, the Bremen, Delmenhorst, Oldenburg area of Germany. And of course, another popular big beer from that area is Jefer, J-E-B-E-R, Jefer, which is very popular and very good. So you have Beck's, Hakebeck's, and Jefer, all from that region, and all very, very, very good. So, when I have a good beer, my American friends will give me grief. Although my brother-in-law, who is a beer snob a bit, he agrees. Once you've had beer from other countries, especially German and Czech beers, American beers just don't taste that great. Now, I still have a couple of American beers that, if that's all they have, I might drink. Um, but otherwise, American beers are just nothing to me. Now, having said that, Irish Guinness, right? Guinness? Can't stand it. I like dark beers, but Guinness, forget it. Ugh. I do not like Guinness. I gotta find out who is pinging me. Oh, it's Randall. Okay. Oh, that's a cool livery, or livery, as you say, depending on where you're from. That's a very cool looking locomotive. I'll read the rest a bit later. But yeah, that's a cool looking livery, Randall. But yeah, I do really, really like the German and the Czech Pilsner lagers. American craft beers, maybe, but even the bigger craft beers like Sam Adams is horse piss to me. They're so high on themselves too. But I mean, yes, you can find some local breweries that brew stronger beers, but yeah, again, I'm a snob. I'm biased. German and Czech beers are can't be touched by American beers. Yeah, Beck's non-alcoholic beer is not bad according to those who drink it. They're for a non-alcoholic beer. My friend Heinz, in his last couple of years, because of health issues, had to start drinking non-alcoholic beer, and he liked Beck's non-alcoholic. I miss Heinz. On the bright side, I did get to go to Germany and say goodbye to him. He passed away in 2019, but Joyce and I went to Germany in 2019, and we got to, because I've had a couple of friends die I didn't get to say goodbye to, including his wife. His wife died in 2014, Anka, and she had cancer, was in remission, looked very healthy again, and then right before we went to Germany in 2014, it came back, and when we saw her, she looked really bad. It was clear, she was very jaundiced, she was not looking good at all. And everybody assured us, well, yes, it's not good, but you know, we'll see. And we normally we stay with them when we were over in Germany with the students. We would live with them while my students lived with other host families, and we would live with the Grotens here. But that year, because Anka was sick, they had to stay somewhere else, and they paid for it. I mean, they paid to have us stay in this little apartment somewhere. Well, her husband Heinz, and she was nagging him to get out of the house, and I wanted to go someplace. And he took me to Bremen to see the small Modellbahn shop, Lippe, Bremen shop. But then we also went down to see the Teutoburger Wald battlefield, an archaeological site, and I had a blast with that. And then 2 days later, I took all my students for a 7-day trip, where because we live in Delmenhorst, but we go on special trips. Well, we combined it all. We went to Berlin for 3 days, and then we went to the Dresden area for 4 days. And we were in Berlin for 3 days, and the first day we were in Dresden, she died. And, you know, other than saying goodbye on the trip to Dresden, I didn't get to say goodbye to her. I didn't get to say goodbye to several friends that have passed away from cancer or whatever. You just didn't get a chance to say goodbye. And it bothers me because you want to say goodbye. And so, at least with Heinz, I did get a chance to say goodbye. Indeed, that's very interesting stuff. All right, Chris, take care. Tell Shirley I said hello as well. Good night. Well, hello, Aiden, and welcome. Well, They're not hard to get, and you can start cheap if you really want to get into it, but obviously space, money, and everything else can be another play unite at the rhomboid table. You know, you can always go, depending on what you're into. If you want to run UK trains, you can find some of the 00 scale, N scale. I won't steer you to a scale because if space is a problem, there's N scale or even Z scale, but Z scale is very limited in what you can get, mostly German-looking trains for the most part. But yeah, I run German and Austrian trains, and I have 1 Czech locomotive and 2 sets of Czech wagons, the Railjet and the Railjet locomotive, and then my Czech EC cars, and I'm waiting for a couple more of those to show up this week, and then I'll have a consist. I still got to get a locomotive, but it's hard to find the proper Czech locomotive because I'm trying to build officially. Here's a website I should share with you. Please come in here somewhere. There it is. Let's go to the main page. I'll just get the main page, and then let's do the English main page. It's a Czech site. It's called Fahrvergnügen, Wagon Web. And that site is a really cool site. That site is a really cool site. I just posted it down there. It does high-speed trains from throughout Europe. Only the high-speed. It doesn't do local commuter trains, but any sort of high-speed trains. And they list the country. And so you can look up the consist, not only currently, but historically. So like Joyce and I rode the EC 171, which is called the Berliner. In 2017, in June of 2017, we rode the Berliner, which runs from Berlin to Prague and Prague to Berlin. Actually, it has a different name because it runs from Hamburg to Berlin as a different train, and then it becomes the EC 171 from Prague, or from Berlin to Prague. But it starts in Hamburg and goes to Berlin. Joyce and I picked it up in Dresden, but from Berlin to Prague, it's known as the EC, the Eurocity 171. Well, you can look up the consist, what cars and what locomotive pulled it on a specific time frame. So like right now, the EC 171 is pulled by a Czech Vectron 193. But when we rode it, it was pulled by a Czech locomotive class 371, which is impossible to find. The German company Pico, P-I-K-O, they made a blue and gray version, which is the one I want, and the red and gold version, which is more common. But you can't find it. It's impossible to find. And a couple of companies made the Vectron 193, but that's not what pulled the train when we did it. But I could get a Vectron 193. But it was also pulled by the German 101, and I have a German 101, so I could do that. But when we rode it, it was pulled by a Czech 371 locomotive. But yeah, it's a cool site if you're interested in high-speed trains around the world. Now again, they don't have them all because this is a fan-based site, so fans put it in, but they give you pictures of the inside and the outside of the cars, what the cars can do, what, you know, everything in it. It's a really cool site. I mean, I suppose I could go to the online and let me see what I could get here. Okay, so here we go, and I'm just going to do this, and let me just stretch this out. So this is the English page, and This gives you all the updates. I should probably go here. Marking, description, list of coaches. But this gives you the different they have all sorts of things. Train formations. That's the page I wanted to go to. Train formations or train compositions. Up here it says train formations. But then right here you go Czech. So like the Czech Republic, and then the rail jets, or as the Czechs call them, the regio jets. And then they list the different countries. They do have a couple of the United Kingdom, but basically just the Eurostar and the Eurostar International. But if I go here and click EC, well, Joyce and I rode the EC 171, the Berliner. Actually, when it runs the front. So here it gives you, it shows you what locomotive runs with the train as of currently. As of March 1st. As of March 1st, it's pulled by a 193 Vectron, and it gives you the consist. But I can go by history. So over here it gives me years. So I can click 2017. So in the year 2017, I can click the EC again and go down to 171. Which is Karl Maria von Weber. That's what it was called back then. Sorry. It's called the Berliner now. And then it shows you the two trains that was taken. The German 101 and the Czech 371. And again, it gives you the entire consist. But when you go here, it tells you what each car is equipped with. And then there's a little picture of a camera here, so you can get pictures. This is what the cars look like. It's a really cool website if you're into European trains like I am, because you can really see what the cars look like, etc., etc., etc. So it's kind of cool. Oops. So that's a real cool website. Let's see, Randall says you got an HO model of that. Hey, Brian, how are you? Oh, yeah, Brian, yeah, we're past that and done. I did not have to take up the layout. The hole was actually where Joyce and I thought it was. It was in, well, the room behind me. That doorway right there, that's the laundry room. I forgot to close the door. But right there, the doorway. The hole was, now we still had to dig 6 inches through the foundation. We have a 6-inch concrete foundation. We had to dig 6 inches, and actually we wound up having to dig like 8 inches down, because you got to get under the pipe and then put new bedding underneath the pipe. But we had a 18-inch long hole, so we had to take out about 5 feet of pipe. And this was all just drainage from my sink. It comes down, our kitchen is above that room there, that room behind me. And it's just the drainage pipe from the sink, and then it goes down, and then it runs across the wall there into what we call the laundry room, where it connects with the other waste drainage pipes, and then comes around and goes out to the city line down here. And the one plumber came in and said he thought the hole was right over here underneath my table. And we're like, we don't think the pipe runs that way. And sure enough, when he redid the inspection, he found it the other direction. So it cost a crap load of money for us, but we got it done and fixed. And hopefully we won't be paying plumbers twice a year to come out and clean it out. Yeah, so yeah. I'm lucky because I didn't have to tear up the layout to make space for him to, because I also had to rip out the floor. I had to rip out the floor in that room, and it's actually all one floor that I put in a few years ago, all through here when I remodeled this basement. This basement is nice and bright now. If you ever saw pictures of it before, it was kind of dark. Okay, Robert. So yeah, there's UK. This just this is the site I know because I'm into European, and yeah, technically the UK is part of Europe, even though sometimes you guys don't want to admit it. But it's a cool site if you're into the European high-speed trains, France, Germany, Denmark, those guys. Because it's really cool, because that's how Joyce and I find out when we book our trips in Germany. What train are we going to be on? Is it going to be an ICE 2? Is it going to be an ICE 3? Is it going to be, so, because they tell you what's running what routes at what time. So, yeah, it's a cool site. But, yeah, it's cool that Hattons has a site. Maybe I could look that up and start studying types of UK trains, considering all the UK channels. I consider myself stupid when it comes to UK trains. I can recognize a Class 37, maybe a Class 47. And I think I can recognize your 800 series. And Class 43, that's it. I can recognize a Class 43. Your HST Class 43. So what were the HSTs at one time? But otherwise, other than the ones you have from other countries, like the Class 66, which I recognize because I see them in Germany and all the time too. But yeah, it's I'm lucky in that regard that I have to tear out. I mean, it still bankrupted me, but it's only money. In fact, the only negative side now is that had I not spent the money fixing that, and it needed to be spent fixing it, Germany just opened the borders, and Canada's opening the border to the United States in July. Joyce and I could conceivably have rush booked a trip to Germany yet this summer. But no, we spent all our travel money fixing a couple of things in the house. That was the biggest one. We still have another one to go. We're having some spray insulation put in a couple of the walls because the old house insulation has decayed and dropped out of the walls. Some people like the 66s, some people hate them. I don't, if I were ever on one of those channels that interviews you, which, God, why would I be? People ask me what's my favorite locomotive, and I don't have one. I have favorite trains. I love the ICE 3 and I love the Railjet. Those are my two favorite trains. And depending on which one I'm standing in front of, that's my favorite train. Other than that, I have a Regiobahn and I have a metronome. Do I love the locomotive? No, it's a locomotive. Do I love the passenger cars? They're okay. They're comfortable. Comfortable enough for a guy that's 6'4". A little bit of leg room in him. Definitely better than an airplane. But other than that, I don't look at a locomotive and think, that's cool. The only time I look at a locomotive and think the locomotive is cool is when there are these advertised paint schemes, like the Beethoven one here. This, I go, that's cool looking. But type of locomotive, model of a locomotive, no, I don't have a favorite. For example, the Railjet, the Czech Railjet and the Austrian Railjet are a Taurus, as I talked about a while ago. They're a Taurus. Okay. But when I see a regular Taurus that pulls the local traffic or some of the lower, the IC traffic in Austria, it's just big and red like the Class 146 or Class 147. It doesn't hit me as a cool looking locomotive. And again, I didn't grow up with trains. I didn't grow up as somebody into trains. I grew up in somebody into Germany, and that got me into trains in late 2015 when I decided I wanted to put some trains in my classroom when I taught the German rail system, both to my students, but also my students that were traveling to Germany, and teach them the rail system in Germany and to recognize the different types of trains. And once I bought my first train, which was an ICE-3, then I was like, this is cool. It's a fun toy. And they are toys. Let's not get into that whole professional hobby thing. They're toys. We play with them. If you can't admit you play with them, then maybe you're a collector that buys one and puts it on the shelf. That's fine. But if you're running them on that, we're playing with them. It's a toy. We play with it. I had a 1973 Dodge Charger SE, which is the king of the muscle cars, American muscle cars. That was a toy to me. An expensive toy, but it was a toy. All right, Robert, take care. Robert, I don't know American trains. I'm an American and I don't know any American train. I barely know the American train companies. Take care. It's like when I travel to Germany, I get so many friends in Germany going, you've seen more of Germany than I have. And I'm like, you've seen more of other countries than I have. It's all trade-off, But it's good stuff. It's good fun. And, but that's what got me into model trains. And I'm as much about, as I always say, watching the trains, my ADD. And that's partly why I have the 9 cameras here. I don't have much to show off on the layout. I mean, my Delmenhorst City area is kind of cool, although it definitely needs finish. But so I've got 9 views of my trains, well, 8 views of my trains. Because I'll run my trains here and I'll have the OBS on without streaming, just so I can, this looks cool. Like 6 trains are about to come to the 11 lane, and then I'll pop on the 11 lane and say, wow, all my trains are here at one time. So I have the cameras on all the time. But I got to get some of the coffee mugs or coasters. That's what we call them. And I get some of the coffee mugs and the coasters from some of the other sites. Like I need to get one of Balin's if he still sells them, and a couple other people's, and just have a collection of coasters that work. And then I can set my Model Train Outsider, Miraklin Outsider mug on some of your guys' coasters. I know Ray Bobel, an American, Ray Bobel, he has a Teespring shop, but I got to get the link, because the one thing I don't like about Teespring is they force you to post the link to your page. They don't have a search bar on their website when you do Teesprings. And I appreciate you buying it, Randall. Joyce and I, but really all the credit goes to my daughter. We give her a couple of quick ideas, but she comes up with her ideas and she designed them. And that Rusty Twinger concert t-shirt is awesome. I love it. And our whole goal, like everything I do on my page is, or my channel, is to just be different. In either a bad way or a good way, is just be different. Who else is putting up cartoons like Matt Clark? Who else is, on a consistent basis? Who's doing model train hobby parody rock and roll songs? That's the goal, is just to be a little different. When I started my channel, I had the Ghost of 2015 me. I don't know if he's done. I may bring him back, because I did shave the beard off, and that was one of the reasons I wasn't bringing him back, was, he doesn't have a beard. But I can't make myself look like 2015 anymore without dyeing my hair, because in 2015 I still had more brown than gray, but now it's mostly gray. But I still have the shirt, which probably doesn't fit anymore because I've lost weight. Now in 2015, I weighed about 250 pounds. And I now weigh about 227 pounds, 28 pounds. But I don't quite look like 2015 anymore to pull it off. Although, again, if I did a little hair dye stuff in the beard, even temporary makeup stuff, I could do it. Because I kind of found it fun to do it. It's yeah, it's, to me it's just cool. I just the designs. I've got the election one coming in, the Mayor Sumbish running for election T-shirt. I've got that one coming in, and my daughter's still working on a couple of designs. Like even this isn't my official webpage design. It's just something I mocked up and thought it looked cool enough to do. And I even do on two sides. So you got kind of an ICE3 on one side. And then the three letters of my channel, because it's the American and then the red circle. There you go. So it's the American Outsider, TMO or MTO, Model Train Outsider. That was something I wanted to ask Split Rock about, because I didn't go back and watch the end of the live stream. Apparently they were talking about me on this stream before I got in there, and they were calling me the Insider. Like, now I'm the Model Train Insider. No, I'm an outsider. I am an outsider in so many ways, good and bad. But the only other guys running three-rail American stuff speak German or Dutch, or one friend is French, but he hasn't posted a video in a year. There's one American site that I subscribed to a few months ago that does trains, but he's more of the professional, really goes into detail about how the system works much better than I ever could, because he's grown up with it, where I've been in the hobby almost 6 years now, but I learned as much to run what I do and stop there, because I don't need to do more. I don't run block detection because I'm very hands-on. I control the speed of my trains by hand. And they now make Wiesmann and one other company, and maybe more. I'm just the ones I know. They now make signals that are motion sensitive. So you don't have to create block sections. They see the train coming and they activate. They're motion sensitive, which I just think is brilliant. So I'm going to save up and buy some of those and eventually put lights in. And then, yes, someday, probably 10 years from now, there will be catenary all along the layout, since I run almost all electric trains. I have one diesel. I have one diesel. And it sounds like family is arriving. All right, Randall, take care of yours, and I will check out the stuff you sent me on the big screen so I can see it even better. Well, hello, Tris. Welcome in. I think I just heard my daughter. Hey, is Kai in here? Nice to have you here. Yeah, I didn't know. Sorry, I know I heard voices of children here, my children. I'm just waiting to see if I can get my grandson here. Hey, is Kai in here? But yeah, so Father's Day was pretty good. Well, we're going to celebrate in a few minutes, but like I said, Joyce gave me a budget, said here's how much money you're allowed to spend, and of course I spent more than the budget, but just a bit. Although if you count what I ordered on Friday, then a bit more. But yeah, it's for those of you who came in later, the reason I was on is I just got done. I completely moved all my controls and rearranged everything. So the easiest way to explain is this camera. So let's go to that camera. Originally I had a laptop here, another laptop, and then computer screen here, my main computer here, and my central station here, and then a tablet here. I've gotten rid of the tablet down lower here, and everything got moved, and I had to go under the table and rewire all the cameras and move all the wires because I moved the little desktop computer into a computer stand I put in down here. Everything got moved around, everything got rewired, so I had to make sure everything was working again. I redesigned my testing area here, and also moved my programming track that was behind my system here, and I moved it out here in the open where it's less in the way of all my stuff here, or my stuff here isn't. So I rearranged. And while I was under the table, I had to make, I have to make a small change to my table. What I'm going to do is, I have to have an access. I have to have an access because I've got to change a light up here. There's a light right here I've got to take out. That's the thing you see blinking all the time. And I am going to cut out a section in here. I'm going to cut out a square in here as an access so I can get in and finally replace that piece of track that, or the turnout. And I showed it to most people, but if you didn't know, the bad turnout, for those of you who hear me every now and then talk about a bad turnout, it's that one right there. That's the bad turnout. That's the bad turnout that gives a couple of my trains issues. And I'm just going to relay a bunch of track there, but I can't reach it from here. The only way I can reach it is to get like 5 family members, and we pull, because this whole table is technically sectional, but it takes forever to pull it apart. So we just pull the whole thing out, and then I crawl under the table and get behind there so I can work on it. But I'm going to cut a rectangle out here about 2 foot by 3 foot right here. I'm going to cut a rectangle out, and then I'll frame under it. I will frame under it so the rectangle I cut out sits right back in, and that way I can pull it out, move it whenever I have to get over there and move track, but it'll also give me access so I can change the ceiling light that has been bad for 2 years. I'm just slow and lazy. Yeah, the bottom middle camera blinks like this because it's the exact same model as this camera. These two cameras, I don't know, I'll point. Stupid mirrored camera. That camera and this camera are the exact same model, and my CPU, my computer, does not like it. If I were to unplug one, the other one would be just fine. Today this one's blinking. Sometimes this one's okay and that one blinks. So it's just dealing with it. But yeah, that was, I think I'm inspired to do, you know, the thing is, after some of the negativity from, that occurred a week and a half ago, where I just got, and as I'm looking back, I think it was like 2 people that were spamming me. I just got all kinds of very nasty emails. Not enough to make me quit, but it was just like being really unfriendly towards the lack of progress on my layout. Why haven't you built anything on your layout? And I'm actually trained to, I can analyze handwriting and tell whether the same person wrote it, or in typing I can analyze and judge their grammar. I think I have do I have a grandson? Ha ha! All right, everybody. He's here. Oh, hi there, dude.
Oh, your hands are cold.
Oh, sorry about that, Kyan.
Hiya, buddy.
Hey, look, Kyan. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Hi, Opa's here. Hi there. Yep. What up? Say to all these people, what up? Did you see right there? Right here. There you are. Look. There's Opa. Oh, look at Opa's trains running. Can you believe it? Look at all those trains running. You with your ADD too, huh? Oh, look at all those trains going. What's up? Oh, there was a spot. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. What's up? This is, if you don't know his name, whoops, wrong button, and I'm changing my camera, it's doing that. Whoops. I'll put his name here. This is Kyan, my first and only grandchild. He is 6 months old today, aren't you? 6 months old today? It's your half-year anniversary. Woohoo! Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. You want to run some trains? Look at that hand, it went right to it, kids. More speed! More speed! It's gotta go faster! Opa! Opa, it's gotta go faster! Mach schnell! Schneller! Mach schnell! Yes, he'll be learning German. Oh. Woo! There you go. So what do you think of all those trains? A couple of years you'll be able to play with them, huh? I'll have a lot more by then too, won't I? Yeah, that's what I thought. Are you kidding? My kids are going to sell my trains when I pass on. Yeah, Kyan became a star at about like what were you, 2 months old? 1 month old when you went on Rick Bailey's live feed and answered his challenge. He called you out and you said, fine, I'll do it, and you ran some trains. Yeah, can you see this? He is, woo! Look at all those trades, dude. Yeah, he's into the trades. We're going to raise you right, aren't we? Shall we sing? Du liegst mir im Herzen, du liegst mir im Sinn, du machst mir für Schmerzen, weiß nicht, wie gut ich dir bin. Ja, 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 weiß nicht, wie gut ich dir bin. Hey, there we go. Ah, shucks. Sensation overload. Oh. You know how many people are staring at you right now, Kyan? Because I don't. I don't even know how many people came into live feed today because I never looked at the number. What do you think? Oh, look at that one. It's right there. Can you see him? He's going right by you. Oh, boy. sadly I got into trains after my kids grew up. So they do like the layout and they do come down and remember the trains they've ridden on in Germany over time. But yeah, I think it'll be Joyce will sell it all off and take a cruise with the money when I die. Although Joyce and I have an argument, who dies first? That's probably not the type of conversation people want to hear or talk about, but it's been kind of a running joke in ours. She wants me to, she wants to go first. She wants me to outlive her. But it's been sadly, it's a twisted joke, but it's been a running joke between us for years. Pretty much since we started dating. What'd you think of all those trains? Oh boy, yeah, that was an old boy. What do you think? Huh? Yeah, I can't even get you to look at me. You got trains on your mind. They're probably watching it on their phones upstairs, watching the live feed. All right, well, the family's here and it's getting close to dinner time. So that's probably a good time for me to say, what do you say, Kyan? Are you going to say bye? You going to tell everybody bye-bye? Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. We got to end the stream today because it is time to eat dinner and do all the Father's Day stuff. So anyhow, hey, all of you people that came to my unannounced stream, thank you for stopping by. And on behalf of Joyce and Kyan and the rest of the Dodge family, have a happy Father's Day to all fathers out there. And why don't you take care of yourselves, be safe. Auf Wiedersehen and Tschüss. And